Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a big show lined up, all kinds of things to share with you, because we all love the same thing, the outdoors, and it's just love talking about it. It's amazing. Sometimes I say, what am I going to do tomorrow's show? And it sort of, I'm blessed. It sort of comes with me. It just comes to me, and I talk to a lot of y'all, and I get most of the information just from just talking to y'all. So I'm sort of passing it on. I enjoy the opportunity to bring this to you every morning. High today is going to be 54, low 38. It's just a cool week. It's like a weekend in the middle of January. Water temperature is 58. That's at the end of the pier now. That's the coldest it has been this whole winter. 58 degrees at the end of the pier. The river readings, the Apalachicola Bluntstown is at even 12 foot. Got a slow drop to it. It's going to be a good weekend to get on the river if you like winter fishing. It's going to be a good weekend to do that. The Choctawhatchee Caryville, 7.6, and staying pretty level now. We didn't have a lot of rain, so 7.6, and it's going to be steady for the rest of this week, going into the weekend. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good tide today. It's going to be low right at 7:31, and then it's coming in all day until 9:08. And our wind will be a north-northwest at about 8, so not a lot of strong, but I wanted to mention to you these tides. When we have these low tides and our north wind, I've mentioned it before, it's just the bays just sort of just sucks out of there, and it's like 25, 30, 40 yards of mud before you get to the water when that wind's blowing them on low tide. That's the winter tides that we have here in Florida Panhandle. It's to be expected, and I just wanted to tell you, don't run aground if you're out there. Stay in those channels and those deep holes if you're in the bay systems on these low tides. Take a break, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look. We got all kinds of pictures, all different varieties, but let's start off with a big buck, and it happens to be Jose Ponce's first buck of the year. Jose's been on the show before, just an excellent painter, loves the outdoors, lives up there in the woods, and that is a nice one, Jose. Good to see you getting that. Now, this next picture, I always talk about the birds in my yards. I was watching them feed this is Sunday right after lunch, and I happened to look out the end of the dock. Look way at that end of the dock, y'all. What do you see? 3 big old white birds. I started looking at them and said, wait a minute, those are some big egrets. That's what you call a great egret. And this is around 1 o'clock, and folks, they sat there, and I just sit there and watched them over 4 hours. I kept checking off and on. They stood in that position right there for over 4 hours. About 5, I came back about 5:15. I've been in and out of the garage and all around the yard, and those great egrets had been there about between 5 and 5:30. They flew off. So they were there over 4 hours right there in that position. You wonder what in the world are they talking about and what they're communicating about, because I got a kick out of them. Now, that's what's called a great egret. Now, when I first saw them, I thought it was a snowy egret. And we have to tell the difference. I had to get my binoculars, and the bill, on the snowy egret, the bill is just a black bill, and on the great egret, it's sort of orangish yellowish, and that's because they're the same size and all. So anyway, let's jump into what some folks are doing over the weekend too. This is Ashlyn Alsabrook. Ashlyn was in my class. Ashlyn Jernigan was a maiden name, and this is their crew that went quail hunting up there. Okay, so good morning from the quail hunters in the back there with a hat on. Richard Cockrell has been on the show before. Let's see, that's Jeremy holding a dog, and to his right, or to our far right, that's Hannah Emmett. Now, Hannah is Linda Cabot's daughter. If you remember Linda being on the show, she does a lot of fishing out of kayaks and all. So they just had a good trip, and I just show you some of the pictures. Are they happy? You love to see happy hunters. And look at them, they're taking selfies. But this is the happiest of all. When that puppy can bring that quail back to you, look at there. He just wants to be petted on the head. Good job. And there's Hannah. That's her first quail, by the way. See, they up there, and they got a farm. Jeremy's family has a farm up there in around Youngstown area. And look at that. Is that not pretty how a dog, look at, you can always tell what a good dog is when that tail is just stiff and erect like that when they're pointing and that leaning forward. That's a good bird dog. That's Jeremy down there. Jeremy was in my class. He and Ashley are brothers and sisters. All right. And now Ashley, she just, I guess she's been a spectator and all, but she had a good time. I'd love to see them happy. I'm going to read this to you because this is Madison McLemore. Today was a day that every deer hunter ever wished to come true. I killed the deer of a lifetime. Just so happened to be on the 9th of January and at 4:13. Thank you, Pop, for putting me where I needed to be to finally get one. Thanks to Mama for being a picture taker and supporter. And she hashtag buck of a lifetime. And here it is, Madison, and Ben's still there. Ben just happens to always get around big bucks and all, and Madison, we're very proud of you. That's a good job there. Big smile. Taylor McGuffin's been on the show before. If you remember, Taylor was here talking about predators and calling them predators. He had a lot of pictures and all, and he's working up there off the North Carolina coast, so he hunted the Atlantic Flyway, and in 10 minutes on the Atlantic Flyway got a limited mallard, the male and female. Daphne Bourne sent this to me. Winston, we just learned what was happening. This was Sunday or Saturday, I believe. They had a tribute to Charlie the Bait Man. I see all those boats together right here. This is Grand Lagoon, and we're looking out toward the Gulf, and that area behind it is a channel. So to your right is St. Andrews State Park. And right there where all those boats together is where Charlie, that's where they always sold he always sold his bait and all. And they just, a lot of the folks just got together and had a tribute for him. I thought that was a very classy thing to do and very appreciated. So thank you for sending that to me. This is just like, I thought this was Billy Grantham. Some people you'll never meet, but you just know they could be your friend. And isn't that something Billy would do? I like that. Now, I don't know Crystal Lynn Etheridge, this is posted on Panama City Fishing page, but I know right where she's at. We're looking across the Lynn Haven Bridge. In the background, that's the Southport condos. And look at that redfish she caught. And that cart to our right down there, we got an exact cart. Now, see, that's a beach cart, or it can be a bridge cart. You can get everything on there. And she was cold, but good job, Crystal Lynn Eldridge. And thank you, Panama City Fishing page. One more quick story. This is a ground blind. I have one just like it. I was over in Buddy Jerry Forehand's house the other day over there in Callaway, and we were talking about the, anyway, he wanted to show me his man cave and garage and all that. We had a great visit, but that hole right there, actually a buck ran into that at night, and because he set this ground blind up. He had some friends who were going to hunt it the next morning, so we had them all set up. And the folks went out there to hunt in it, and it was knocked down on the ground. So, in fact, he said it was a 6-point. See where the horns hit it? The buck just ran right into it. That's almost like a little trophy thing right there. But anyway, thank you, Jerry. We had a great time with Jerry. Had all kinds of good things. So you just never know what's going to happen when it went out in the woods and all. Fortunately, no one was in it because it was at night. But I'm going to tell more things that Jerry and I talked about later. But let's go and take a break now. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us. I'm going to show one more picture. This is sort of a family picture. I just want to read it to you because I'm proud of it. I want to share my pride with you because most of y'all know my daughter Wendy. So proud of our daughter Wendy for being awarded the Level 5 Teacher in Tennessee. Each year they have presented this award. She has accomplished this level. Today, the superintendent, her principal, and the county coordinator came to her classroom and made the presentation. So that's quite an honor. That's as high as you can get. And she's just, I'm just so proud of her. She's just, teaching is in her heart. And I just love what she does. And she shares her teaching stories with me. And when she got this, I was just beside herself, so happy and all that. She's just doing what she loves to do and helping young people. I got tickled. We were talking the other day, and she's helping people with the Medicaid, Medicare, and all that now. You've seen the commercial. So I said, well, I said, you're working with something you love, helping young people, and you're still doing something you love, you're helping old people. So I said, you got both ends of the spectrum, and she has been really enjoyed that other part too. So anyway, I want to show that and give a big shout out to, and she'll watch it on YouTube, and her students were just, they were just grinning. That was a 6th or 7th grade class. How she teaches that level, I don't know. I couldn't teach that level. I don't think I could communicate, but she has a knack for doing it. So anyway, I want to show that. Now, let's go ahead and add some names. We've got quite a few names. So this is ironic. Our friend Carol Miller, Jeff's friend, Carol has been, we worked on some things together and all, and Carol sent her name in. So we got Carol, Ron Miller, and Joel Miller from Lynn Haven, okay? So 1, 2, 3. And the next name I pick up is Wilbur Miller from Lynn Haven. What's the chance of all the Millers? They're not related, but they live close to each other, all from Lynn Haven. So Wilbur called me. He hadn't shot him a big buck yet, but he's seen 2 8-points in the field fighting, but he's checking on things. So here's his family, Chris and Matthew Miller, all from Lynn Haven. Now let's go to Ponce de Leon, Debbie Colmetz, okay, and also Robert Colmetz. Let's come back to Lynn Haven, Joel Walsingham. Let's go over to Climax, Georgia. We've got some viewers up there in Climax, Georgia. Derek Gibson had a good email swapping with him. Larry Bowman from Chipley. We got some good stories from that South Georgia area. Pam Bowman from Chipley. Reginald Larry from Port St. Joe, Adam McClellan, Panama City, Sonia Burke, Vernon, Robert Burke, Vernon. Okay, and then Barbara Carroll up there in Westville, and Aubrey Carroll, the Carroll family up there in Westville, and Teresa Brown from Santa Rosa Beach, and also Dennis Borges from Santa Rosa Beach, and Donald. That's Dennis and Donald. Got some good viewers over in Santa Rosa Beach. How about Marie Borges and Stan Bourne? Please stick together. And Delane Bourne, who's just sent me that email. Marie Borges got her, and Dave from Santa Rosa. Okay. Robin Battles from Greenhead, Darrell Weeks. Also Rebecca Weeks from Greenhead. All right. From Panama City, Heather Taylor. Gene Bigger from Deer Point Lake, along with Bob from Deer Point Lake. Greg Frady up there in Alford. Wilhelmina Swearingen from Pretty Bayou. Wilhelmina Swearingen. I always have trouble every year with that. Edsel Swearingen, they've been long-time viewers over there in Pretty Bayou. From Bluntstown, Matthew Griffin. Panama City Beach, Bobby Brown. And Betty Brown, Panama City Beach. We filling up, folks. Johnny Taylor, Parker, along with Sarah Taylor, Houston Taylor. We show pictures of him a lot. That big outdoorsman, the Taylor family over there. Chad, Panama City. Tom Platt, Panama City. Nancy Flores, Panama City. Linda Cutts from Chipley, and James Cutts from Chipley. Okay, keep them coming in. We're doing good. Now, let's move on. That takes more time than you think, but I just want to do it and make sure your name's called out. If your name's not called out, touch base with us again, and we'll get it straightened out. But anyway, we'll get the Calhoun Liberty Journal, and I love reading it. And, in fact, they're getting the vaccine there. But the story I want to share with you, can you see it? It says, game camera gives away suspect in an unusual hiding spot for stolen BMW. So here's the story. It's over there between Frink and Kynard in Calhoun County. And what happened, this guy right here, South Florida, from Miami Gardens, obviously stole a BMW, but the guy, he drove, I don't know how it happened, but he's up here in this part of the country, this part of the state, and you know how isolated some of these areas. So he goes down this road, and this guy's watching his game cameras. You can watch them live, or you can, every 2 hours, or however you have your camera set up. It's amazing what cameras can do now. I have mine just every couple of hours. So he said he looks in there at a deer stand. There's a BMW, a black BMW there at the deer stand. So of course he drives up there too, and he drives up to the gate. The gate has been cut. Okay, the chain has been cut going into the lease. So he knows something up. You know he's got his gun with him. It don't say that, but you and I know he's got his gun with him. Drives up there and sees the BMW, and there's a guy standing outside the BMW in his boxer shorts. So the guy stepped out of the truck and tell him he needs to get off of, this is private property, he needs to get off of it. The guy said no, he wasn't going to do it or something like that. So he calls the law. Well, the law's on the way out, and the guy starts running, and it takes him, the guy runs off and everything, the deputy tells him to stop and everything, but he just keeps running off to the woods. Now, this is, it took them, they bring in the dogs start tracking them. It takes a couple of hours. In fact, it said it took 3 hours to find him hiding in the woods in his boxer shorts. Now, can you imagine up in those woods running through there and all? You think he was scratched up pretty good? When they found him, they arrested him, and of course brought him out and arrested him. And I hope that's going to be on one of these shows one day showing that. But anyway, charged him with trespassing, resisting arrest, and of course having possession of a stolen BMW from the Miami area. But I got to thinking about cameras are so prevalent now, and for the most part, really good situation, because that could have been we can see these things happening, and trespassers, we showed the trespassers, the people getting the berries on all, but I didn't think I'd ever show a picture of someone stealing the BMW and parking it by a tree stand over there in Calhoun County. So I just wanted to share that story with you. But it's added a lot to our outdoor world to have the camera showing all kinds of different things going on. For the most part, it's mainly Jeff and I were just looking at our pictures. We had the bear coming back last night, but for the most part, it shows exactly what's going on. So hope you get a chance to see your camera and all, and also home surveillance cameras in your neighborhoods and all. They're popping up with all kind of good stuff. So it's a good thing for these cameras. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us. Hope you enjoyed that story. Real stories are the best, and I just got a kick out of that. So let's look at the game and fish time today from Blue Water Outrigger, 11:25 to 1:25. One time. Right here in the middle of the day, 11:25 to 1:25. So that tells you something. The tides and moons are lining up. I want to show you this picture here. I've talked about it before. I love a fire in the fireplace. It's just something I just dearly love. I know a lot of y'all do. And I don't know if I love cutting wood more than the fire. I just love cutting firewood. I always joke about, it's a joke passed down generation after generation, this wood's going to warm you twice. It's going to warm you when you cut it. It's going to warm you to stand in front of the fireplace. So here, I just want to show you some pictures of it. Here's a load. I went up there, we saw Billy Brown up there in Ozark, and here I am. I just love doing this. And I was going to show you, this is not a commercial, but I love that steel chainsaw. That thing's been so dependable. And I'm not being real smart here. I'm walking around all these logs. I did clear them out, but Gail was taking a picture of me. I said, and this, you want to try to cut the end if you can, but I had them stacked up. This ain't my first rodeo on doing this. And I just let's see. Just some still pictures. I had on my ear guards, and this, let's see. Here's another action shot. But this is my perfect size right here. The old oaks and all. In the background, in the background of my seasoned wood. In fact, I'll show you way in the back there. That's seasoned cut like a year or two ago. This is cutting fresh now. We're going to, of course, use it next year, sort of what is called seasoning or dry out. Now, most of y'all know the story here. But anyway, cutting firewood is something I dearly enjoy doing. Okay, all right, that takes care of the pictures. I did want to, one thing I wanted to share with you, if I can get to it. Let's see. Yeah, okay. We always talk about wanting to get a trophy buck and all, and I want to show you this one particular one here because it really means a lot to me. This is actually this one buck right here, Lane Stevens, who was with the FWC for a long time. Okay, I spend many hours in the woods hoping to score a nice buck, and then this happens. This 11 point was hit by a car in Quincy on King Street in front of the Robert Monroe Kindergarten. Of course, it made him sick. Now, what's special about this? Let me go ahead and tell you what's special about that. When I read it, I said I've got to show this to the audience because, okay, here we go. We're going to go to Google Earth. This is Quincy. Let me go around sideways. This is Quincy. This is my hometown. Now, what's cool about this book, we're going to zoom on in, and I always zoom in on the ball field. Okay? Okay, there's the ball field there where we play ball. Anyway, I'm going to show you where this happened. Okay? Let's go over here. I don't want to get lost in my hometown, but this is, okay. In fact, while we're here, this little neighborhood here, I'm going to show you where I grew up. This house right here, let me zoom on in. My daddy built this house right there in the center of the screen, right there. Right there, that's the house I grew up in, okay? And in fact, we're talking about going back in the woods, and that's the woods I would go back in as a kid, playing in the woods. It's still there, a little stream back there. Anyway, let's find out where that book is. I ride my bicycle, I keep everything in the center. Go down that road, go down that road, go down that road, go over here, and look at there. George Monroe Elementary School. Right there in the middle of the screen is Monroe Elementary School. Now, that book, that particular book that you just saw was taken right there. Where you see that Methodist church and the school? Right there in the middle of the screen is where right there, that little building right there, that's where that buck was run over. Now, you wouldn't think, right there on the edge of town, you wouldn't think that big buck would be there. But isn't that fascinating how they'll do those kind of things? And when I saw that, I thought to myself, that buck's probably been there. When I ride my bicycle, I never saw a buck like that, but they're there. And I lived on the edge of town. There were three places you could live in Gaston County. You live in town, you live on the edge of town where we live, or you live in the country. So we lived on the edge of town, which I had the best of both worlds. I loved living there and all, and growing up there. And it was just really interesting to see that big buck right there was run over there. Him being, ex-FWC officer and all, he was called in to take care of everything. And that buck, I guarantee you, stayed in that area his whole life. And that's how it got to be that big. I've got all kinds of other things to go over, but as usual, I'm going to run out of time. I do want to mention about the red fishing. It has been really good this past week. And we'll talk more about it tomorrow. Red fishing has been really good. You saw the one off the bridge. I saw several more pictures of some redfish being caught, some big reds. And if you want to do some fishing this weekend, you maybe want to concentrate on that. I'm out of time. Thank you all so much for watching our show. We appreciate it. Do something good today for your fellow man. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.